Welcome to 360 TV. Of course, I'm your host, Adonis Lockett. And joining me, as always, Mr. I haven't been to the barbershop in 3 weeks, but I'm still fresher than you, Darion Coleman.
What's up? I actually went yesterday.
Okay, but even when you don't, you still fresher than most.
And you know it.
Welcome to 360 TV. Right, so what just happened is this is Darion's first time seeing our intro.
I didn't know.
It was kind of popping though. So as always, to kick off the show, we're gonna move right into our Whiskey Wisdom moment with Miss Lauren Lockett.
Hi everybody, it's Lauren again here with this week's Whiskey Wisdom. For this week, I am keeping it classic. I am drinking a Macallan single malt Scotch whiskey, One Rock for all my grown and sexy out there. Yeah, that's the truth serum coming through. So just like my drink this week, I'm gonna keep the advice very classic, timeless. Hopefully you still do this. But this week's Whiskey Wisdom is always read your contracts. I know it seems very basic, but oftentimes you can get on autopilot and just think that, hey, click, 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 or my agent got this, I don't need to review anything. I'll just get it, look at it on my phone, sign, and be done. But people are human. Mistakes happen. It's always helpful to double check, make sure that what you expected to be on the document is on the document, make sure that the dates are correct, that the amounts are correct. Just a quick spot check never hurt anything at any point. Especially for newbies out there, oftentimes you may be intimidated by the contracts or feel like it may be a stupid question that you have, but at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your time, it's your everything that you're putting into this real estate business. And so you just want to make sure you take the time to understand it, that you're comfortable with what you're signing, and that you actually have reviewed it and want to move forward with the terms that are set in the paperwork. Amendments and changes can be made, but it's often better to catch these things up front, just for ease of transaction. And even to my real estate pros out there, contracts change. Texas just released some updated contract forms, and so it never hurts just to take a peek, make sure that what you want to see is there, what you expected is there, and that there aren't any surprises. So happy reading, everybody. Back to you guys in the studio.
I gotta tell you, there's no one I'd rather watch for 5 minutes than her.
I mean, you're married to her, so
fair enough. Fair enough. So, what are your thoughts about the Whiskey Wisdom moment? Always review your contracts. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
let the guests go first.
I mean, contracts are important. The more you know, the more you grow. So,
Right.
at the end of the day, if you're not doing your contracts, if you don't know your contracts, then, you don't know your business.
Right.
You're going
All
to fail at your business. So, contracts are put there to protect you and to keep you from getting sued.
A funny story. I didn't do a proper introduction to Marcus, right? So our guest tonight is Mr. Marcus Gaynor. Marcus has been a wholesaler and investor flipper in the real estate investing business for 14 plus years. When I say this guy has literally transcended wholesaling, this is something that he can wholesale 5 deals and then come back, clock in at 10 o'clock in the morning. First 2 hours of the day, he's cleared 5 deals. So our guest tonight, Mr. Marcus Gaynor, is truly one of the more respected wholesalers that I've ever worked with. The guy has, done business from the Midwest down to the East Coast and back to the Midwest. The guy's a rock star. So first of all, before we even jump into the Whiskey Wisdom moment, Marcus, tell us about your background, dude, because I read your bio, read your resume, killing the game. Just talk to us about your background.
You read his bio?
I mean, y'all told it to me, but but in fairness, I've actually been doing business with Marcus for years, directly and indirectly. So,
that's very true. That's very true.
this isn't, Marcus and I actually have done business not only in the last few months, but even 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was early in the business, he was heavy in the game. I was buying from people that he was training. So that's how long he's been in the game. Before I even jumped in, he was already like a big wig in the business. You know what I mean? So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for almost 14 years now. So I have flipped everything from short sales to notes to pretty much, anything in real estate when it comes to deal with the REOs, things like that, negotiated things like that. I actually started off flipping and I discovered wholesaling. My first flip was a complete disaster. I was up at night crying. Like no kidding. Actually, that was a long time ago. My wife actually was my girlfriend at the time. We had a project that was like probably the worst thing in the world. It was a 20 grand. It was a 20 grand rehab budget that we had. Well, not budget. It was 40 grand actually.
Right.
With a 20 grand budget. Yeah, right.
I'm so curious. What did you think you were going to sell it for?
Man, so got it for 100. ARV was 190.
Okay, so you was like, yeah.
Not bad.
With 20 grand, no, with 20 grand rehab, I'm like,
that's a come up. That's
easy.
a major
Clean.
come up. Yeah.
It was like probably like a 60 grand rehab. So we literally, So in hindsight, it was like 60K. I mean, doing foundation, which at the time for me was like speaking Chinese, right?
Right.
So doing foundation, I had to replace the bathroom. The only bathroom in the house was in the kitchen. So the only bathroom
Sounds like one of our.
That sounds weird, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. So the only rehab was in the kitchen. The only bathroom was in the kitchen. I'm sorry. So I had to pull that, take away a bedroom, add a bathroom, gut out the attic, make that a bedroom just to replace the bedroom that we had to replace to add the extra bathroom. So that was a complete probably disaster at the time. But at the end of the day, I feel like I learned a lot just dealing with that.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. So that was definitely when they say the school of hard knocks.
So we're gonna definitely jump into that. But back to our Whiskey Wisdom moment about reviewing the contracts. Funny story. So I personally buy from you in pretty large abundances, right? So a couple months ago, Marcus hits me with this deal. As a matter of fact, this is a deal that I'm still in the process of renovating now. Downtown fourplex, killer deal. And I'm gonna just spill the beans on this one. So Marcus got it for 400, flipped it to me for 425. He's making 25K. I walk into the deal. He's like, listen, this is a simple 400K deal. You know what I mean? Like you come in, drop maybe like 70, 80, you'll be able to get, 575 for it. I come in, I see it. I'm like, it's 4 1-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,150 square feet each unit. Mm-hmm. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,150. I'm like, nah, these are 3 2s. And if anyone who's ever followed me on social media, I can make a 3 or 4 bedroom into anything.
And you ain't
so
lying.
I saw his 550 ARV was my 900 ARV because on a fourplex, value is based on income. So I'm gonna make all of these 1-1s into 3 2s. So I'm gonna go from 1,150 rents per unit to 2,500 per unit. So 4,500 income to 10,000 a month income. That's going to make my value from 600 to 900 to almost $1 million. In the contract, we have all, and Marcus and I have, I've known Marcus. Marcus and I've attempted to do business with Marcus directly in like 2014, 15. He's trained guys that I've bought deals from, that I've sold deals to. He's trained those guys. So a contract comes over from him. I skim through it, looks good. He calls me like, oh, by the way, I forgot to add some language that says, oh, no, it's not even that. A HUD comes out 2 days before closing, and I see a $500 fee that's not in the contract. So I'm like, I call title like, remove this fee. It's not in the contract. So Marcus calls me like, say, bro, this is a standard fee that we have to take. It's part of the team. It's a courtesy thing.
It's a transaction fee.
It's a transaction fee. I'm like, Marcus, you're my guy, but that's not in the contract, my dude. I'm not paying it.
I feel like I know where this is going.
5 o'clock in the morning.
So
I'm
feel like
waking
I know
up.
where this
I'm
is going.
waking up 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, cause on the check he'll cut up.
Yeah,
So I don't know why. For some reason, I was up dumb early, and I'm just reading the HUD, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, listen, because I review my HUDs to the dollar. Like I calculate my expenses to the dollar. I see this random $500 fee, and so I'm like, I call title. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's a mistake because the contract doesn't call for this fee. So I email title and I CC him. So it's no smoke and mirrors. I'm like, listen, take this fee off. And I said at the end of my email, I'm not paying it. Very clearly.
In other words, let's be clear.
I said, I just want to make sure. So Marcus calls me. He don't even email. He calls me. Say, bro, like this is just a $500 transaction fee. And I'm like, I feel you. Is it in the contract?
Mm-hmm.
It won't in the contract.
Oh.
So Marcus is like, all right, well, this is part of the hustle. We just forgot to include it in the contract. I'm like, that's cool. Then you take the L.
You forgot your money.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you take the L. His partner was not hearing that. Tell us about that.
Long story short, it was $25,000 fee. So I'd rather take the $500 and walk away.
I told Marcus straight up, I was like, listen, I'm not paying this $500. So
No,
you either take that $500 L or I cancel the contract. You call it what you will. I'm not wiring any money over more. I'm not wiring that $500 over.
Adonis, you was about to walk over $500.
He wasn't gonna walk over. He was bluffing, but he wasn't.
I'm not gonna front. In fairness,
he wasn't gonna walk over $500.
I was bluffing, but
He won't go
but here's the thing, like to the T. So what I appreciate about Marcus is that he's seasoned in the game, so he stood his ground all the way until I emailed title and was like, well then cancel the deal. Yeah. So look, when you bluff in poker,
Oh, wow.
you go all in with nothing in your hand. You really got to be ready to make that move. Now I knew what he was making on the wholesale fee. You're making $25,000. You're not canceling the contract off of principal for $500. So I knew that I would bluff him harder than he would bluff me, because he stood firm for maybe about 3 or 4 days.
It's adding up. Yeah, that makes sense.
I can make 25, or I can make 24.5 or nothing.
Or nothing.
Yeah, it's like at the
What
end
am
of
I
the day.
going to do?
So my whole point was that even though Marcus is a friend of mine, I've been doing business with this dude for 7, 8, 9 years. At the end of the day, it wasn't in the contract, so I'm not obligated to it.
pay it.
So
That's
to the Whiskey Wisdom moment, if he read the contract, he would have known that $500 admin fee was missed. So he ended up having to take a $500 L on the deal for no more reason than he didn't skim his contract before he sent it to me.
The horror.
Basically, and then what's funny? The whole thing was I told him to put the $500 in the contract, but they didn't.
He told him to put it in. He sent it to me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I take a $24,500 L. At the end of the day,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So what happens is, now here's what I will say though. Now, a lot of investors off of, not because of the money or anything, but a lot of investors will cancel a deal off of principle, right? Even if it's to their detriment, to everyone's detriment, because a lot of investors do operate off of principle, right? Would you agree with that? Like, if someone was like, yo, you can make $20,000 or you can cancel a deal off of principle, like, would you agree that a lot of investors would rather cancel just off of principle? That's a real thing in the industry.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, yeah, in a sense, principle, yeah, but also too is a whole thing when it comes. Principle is a big thing, but it also come to the person that you're dealing with as far as, is this something that's going to really make me money long-term wise, and this is something that I want to kind of establish that relationship with at all times,
You got to pick and choose your battles.
You got to pick and choose your battles, right? So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, and I think just me, myself, personally, just being in the game for so long, you can kind of recognize when you could kind of, okay, it's $500 worth, $150,000 worth of deals in a year.
Right.
So it's more.
Nobody would say that.
No. I mean, it's about the long dollar. I mean, if you don't really know or understand the long dollar, then you always gonna lose in this game, right?
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, that was $25,000. That was $5,000 on the $25,000 fee.
500
on the $25,000 fee, but also too, it was a whole nother deal that we did that was like 2 weeks before or after. That was $15,000. So what's that, 40? So I lost $500 on $40,000.
Right. So
I mean, there's not a person alive right now that wouldn't take that.
Right. So literally, after that deal, 3 weeks later, I bought another deal from him. And I gave him the courtesy to be like, make sure your contract
sure.
has the $500.
Did it have it up there?
It had it.
The $500.
Yeah.
On the next deal,
one.
Next deal.
and you know I was cool. I never had a problem paying it.
Yeah.
It's just
But it
that
wasn't on the contract.
it wasn't on the
No,
contract.
at the end of the day, if you don't know your contract, then you don't really know. Like, you have to make sure that everything is dotted, crossed, and make sure that your contract is on point. Your
Very
contract
true.
is what save you and what's going to, again, protect you from getting sued. It's going to be able to, like, make sure that you hold whoever feet that it is that you're doing business with to, you know, hold their feet to the fire. If you don't, then you're going to lose.
And you know, the other part about it too was that this wasn't like Marcus and I didn't talk on the regular. I just told him straight up. I was like, homie, business professional, whatever you want to call us. I'm not paying the fee. I don't care what we are, what you say. If it wasn't in the contract, it's not what I signed up for. And I could have easily backed into it, but I told Marcus, I'm like, this is a learning lesson for you guys.
Right.
So when you read your contracts, you know, take a $500 learning lesson. And I know that that's a very smug position to take, but in the realm of business, you know, you either are going to be postured or you're going to get postured. And I felt like that was a moment where they dropped the ball and they're going to take the L on it, not me.
Very much so.
Right, but
That was a rare posture. I don't take postures.
Exactly.
But, no, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be able to, accept like when you slip.
right.
You gotta hold your L.
I don't slip that much.
Earn
Though.
your L, right?
Yeah. I don't slip that much. So I'm good in the sense to where like I know to where like no, I don't. It's just because of the fact of like I'm licensed in a bunch of states.
You
So,
have to.
I know. So yeah, you got to end
yeah.
up taking it. So at the same time, it's like I take it, you roll with it. It's not at the end of the day. It's like you think again. It's either you could do short-term business or you can do long-term business.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And you got to pick the people that you do long-term business
Right.
Right.
So to that point, to our viewers that are engaging with us via Facebook, hello everybody. Shout out to Carla Turntine out in McKinney, Texas. If you have experienced a time where you had to hold your L, please go ahead. Don't be embarrassed. Let us know in the comment section. We would love to hear your stories and laugh at you.
All right.
With you. Not at you, with you.
So now, you've mentioned that you've been in the game for a minute, and you say you're licensed in a lot of states. So let's start with you being licensed in a lot of states. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean.
Because wait, I'm just real quick. Not interrupt. You're a wholesaler, but you're also a licensed agent.
Yep, I'm a licensed agent. I'm a broker actually in the state of Florida.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on,
Listen. You know what I'm saying? Look, watch him work. So, but now, isn't there a conflict with wholesaling and being a licensed agent though?
It's not really a conflict. So at the end of the day, I think is a benefit.
Okay.
I mean, and I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I just think it's a benefit just because of the fact of it gives you credibility. I mean, when
Okay.
you walk into the door and when you're dealing with a lot of people that like you're trying to buy a house from, I mean, for the most part, if they don't feel comfortable with being able with your price, then you go, hey, I can list it, or they may say to you, well, I may want to talk to an agent and see what my actual home is really worth.
Right.
Okay, I'm licensed.
It just so happens.
Yeah, it just so happens I'm licensed. I could tell you what it's worth. And again, it makes you, to me, being licensed, it makes you do everything above board, which you should do anyway.
Right.
You should do that anyway, but at the end of the day, I think that you being licensed, it kind of give you, again, it give you credibility.
Right.
You'll be able to walk into that door and tell them like, hey, I'm licensed, even though I'm giving you a cash offer for your house. And they give you other options, like you don't want to sell it at that price for cash. Okay, how about I help you list it?
Okay.
Listing is not my thing just because of the fact that at the end of the day, I don't, you know, some people have that skill set to be able to go in there and be like, hey, like, yeah, I will list it for you and do this, and that. I don't. I can refer them to other people. right. I don't have
What's his
skill.
brother saying? He just like to get to his check.
Right.
Right.
you
No.
like.
Yeah, right. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, you got to have. I mean, when it's just not about wholesaling. I mean, obviously you guys know that, but it's about different extra strategies and
Right.
you know ways that you can do it. Like, okay, I can't buy it cash. Okay, if you can't buy it cash, can you refer? Like, can I refer them? Can I list it?
Right.
You got to be able to create like extra revenues of income if it don't fit your model in your box, right?
Got
Right.
it.
So you got to make sure that you're able to do that. I think the biggest thing. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of wholesalers, I think, they get into the game and they get just kind of stuck in that one niche.
Right.
And it's like, and to me, like, wholesaling is like the birth of the whole thing, the investment side of it, right?
Right.
It really is.
Yeah, right. So it teach you rehabs, it teach you areas, it teach you values,
Okay.
right? So I mean, I think
Dispel a myth about wholesaling, right? You talk to 10 people, 3 of them especially like licensed agents that are not necessarily investors, say that wholesaling, you hear people say it's illegal, you hear people say that it's not right, that the sellers are being tricked or don't know what's really happening.
Okay.
Dispel a few myths about wholesaling.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is just kind of educating the seller, right? I mean, you want to go in there, you want to be able to educate the seller and let them know what's going on. To me, I like to use analogies to make people feel comfortable, like when they buy from you, right? It's
Sure.
like, okay, like, yes, your house is worth $100,000, but I'm offering 50. And I say things.
Let's not glaze over that.
Yo, you can't do that. Yo, time out. Hey, so let me give you an example, right? Your house is worth 100,
Right.
but I'm only gonna give you 50.
Right.
You're gonna take that, and you're gonna get out.
Right, but right.
There's more to that.
It's more to it. It's more to it. Right. So it's kind of like
That don't sound too nice.
No, it don't. It is. It is. I didn't think about it like that.
Hey, that's why I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you.
But no, the whole thing is at the end of the day, you do have to kind of, in a sense, educate them, right?
Right.
It's like, yes, it is worth 100 fixed up. It needs 30 grand in works. Do you have that 30 grand? You don't.
Right.
You don't, right? You ever been to a pawn shop?
Yeah.
You been to a pawn shop?
Yeah.
When you go to a pawn shop, at the end of the day, you get like 70% of what it's worth.
Yeah.
Right.
So Marcus is saying, so you broke, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna go.
So
and take
I'm
this
gonna
house
pawn
from
your house. So to all the local pawn shops who are thinking about getting into the real estate business,
That's probably a
Marcus,
terrible analogy right there.
my man's will come in like, I want to pawn this deed. I feel it. Okay, but that's how you make it analogous to, like, listen.
Right, just kind of pull it down to like their level to it. They can kind of understand, like, okay, like, yes, like it is worth that, but it needs a good amount of work.
Right.
Right. And to me, like, at the end of the day, when you walk in and you're talking to these sellers, you kind of want to, and I think one thing that I know that kind of separate from like how I'm doing things is kind of like really educating them.
Right.
Kind of when you walk through, and it's kind of like, okay, like, yes, like it needs roof, it needs flooring, it needs paint, like your foundation. You see that bubble in the kitchen is rising up on the floor. I mean, your plumbing is messed up. So then
Right.
it comes with your foundation. Your foundation is jacked. So that's why you're having leaks. And when you start to do that, it kind of, it'll kind of separate you from everybody. I say, go, yeah, you know, I was wondering why my plumbing was leaking so bad.
Right. Well, my water bill, $400 a month.
Right, when my water
Okay.
goes.
So then let me ask you this, right? When you're wholesaling a house, do you tell the seller that you're wholesaling it, or do you introduce potential buyers as your partner?
No, just because of the fact that at the end of the day, I can buy it.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't never really tell them. No, I mean,
No to which question?
Well, it gets
Because
to
there's
that's valid. So no, it gets to the point to where you have to, just if I'm talking from a newer standpoint, from a newer wholesaler, then yeah, you probably want to tell them that you want to be transparent as possible, right?
Absolutely.
So I would definitely, at the end of the day, you want to be transparent as possible when dealing with these people, because it could be touchy situations, right?
Right.
So until you get yourself at that point where you have enough capital to okay, like, look, regardless of the fact, like, I'm buying this.
Right. So whether it's someone else's name is on it, the transaction will happen, whether it's me, them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you want to be able to do that, and it takes a minute or take a skill set.
Right.
Either whatever you get first. Whether you establish yourself in that time, you get that skill set, or you establish your time and you get that, you get your capital up till you can go like, look, my name on it, I'm buying it regardless.
Right. So then that brings up a great point.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, 3 months into the wholesaling game, what advice would you give yourself? Because it sounds like you're giving advice about what to and what not to do.
Right.
So if you could go back to your Marcus 3, 4, 5 months as a wholesaler, what advice would you give to yourself and to new wholesalers, like what to do, what not to do?
What to do, what not to do. I mean, I think the biggest thing, honestly, what to do and what not to do is, what to do is to be a student of it. Make sure that you know it. Make sure that you know it. Make sure that you keep on studying it, and that you know your areas. You understand your rehabs, because your rehab is your risk. Anybody that that know the game, they know that the biggest component of it is the flipping aspect of it. Before
Right.
you walk into that house, you should know what it's worth. When I'm talking to you as a seller, I know even before I go to the house, I know the bedrooms and bathrooms. I know the square footage of the house. I know the area. I know what it's worth 100%. Like, that's the one thing when I walk into a house, and that's something that I struggled with when I first started years ago. It was like I wasn't sure what it was worth. It's not a house in this area that I can't walk into. not 100%. I know what it's worth.
Right. We
Right.
talked about that on the
Yeah.
previous show about knowing your numbers. It's
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
I think
know.
that was
Yeah.
Run That
That was a
Breon.
whiskey wisdom moment.
It was, yeah.
It
Run That
was.
Breon.
No,
Shout
man,
out
like-
to Run
like-
That Breon if
Right.
you're watching.
Right. No,
Listen, know your numbers. It's so important.
No, for
Right.
sure, bro. Like you definitely you have to know your numbers. Like at the end of the day, I want to be able to walk into the door, and this I know for a fact this is what separates me from a lot of people. When I walk in that house, like I know my numbers. Like I know what it's worth. 100%. I know what it's worth. So the only thing I have to figure out after that, I know the area, I know my numbers, I know all that. So when I walk in the house, the only thing I'm looking at is the rehab.
Is the rehab.
Is the rehab. So when I walk, I know my rehabs. Like I have done rehabs. I know what it costs. I know what foundation. I don't know what foundation costs, but at the end of the day, I can have an idea. It's pure beam of a slab. I know what it costs to replace a roof. I know what it costs to replace windows. I know what it costs to replace flooring. Things like that you know and that you start to figure out is going to help you in the game because of the fact, number one, I can tell the seller right off the bat, okay, this is where I'm at number-wise. I don't have to go, and I think I see, just from experience, I see a lot of people, like, they do this. They go, let me go to my car and let me run my numbers. Or let me call my partner. Right. Let me go to my car and let me talk to my partners. To me, like, okay, you said you want an 80. I'm at 65, well, I'm at 70.
Right.
Right. At the walking in, is that something that'll benefit you? And I'm able to tell them that right off the bat. I mean, this is a sport in a sense, right? You gotta be, you gotta be able to get to it as fast as possible, and you gotta be able to speak to it. You gotta be able to be fluid and be confident when you're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So I think, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people, newer wholesalers, even like actually not even newer ones, even established ones. I love to see established wholesalers that I get a kick out of it, because to me it's all a game now. I've been doing it for so long. I love to see guys that I know that I'm competing with. Because already, I know from both sides. I know from doing it on the large scale side, from being with the big box brokerage per se, and I know it from being able to hustle it from just being like a one-off situation, being a hustler. I know how the big box think, and I know how the Joe Smo think. They're just doing it right. So I get both sides of I get both sides of it, and I think that's the kind of thing that that it benefits me in a sense.
Yeah,
right?
that's good. So to our viewers that are tuning in, if you are someone that wants to invest and you are like Marcus, I'm finna call you Marcus.
I know you about to.
Marcus,
that's a terrible name. Jesus Christ, bro.
And you're like, but you're not like Marcus, and you're not an experienced wholesaler, and you don't know your numbers. We got something for you. If you log on to my RE360.com. I was about to say TV.
You was about to say that.
Close. .com. We have a tool that you can use if you are someone that is going into a project and you need some way to know your numbers. There's a tool that you can use. It's called the Rehab Estimator, and you just go through as you're walking through, looking at everything. You can quickly just put in the information, answer the questions that it asks, and it will tell you what your numbers are. So we have that as a courtesy of my RE360.
So then that's a great point, right? Let's remove the app, because I cannot stress how phenomenal that app is. And again,
that is legit.
The app is.
Go on and just
Wait, go ahead and co-sign that again.
No. Plug it in there. No.
So the My 360 Rehab Estimator will walk you through like line by line. You just put whether it needs to be basic, rental grade, high end, whatever, and it'll tell you what that line item costs, all the way up to a full rehab estimate. But Marcus, how important is it for you to properly qualify a rehab as a wholesaler? Like on a scale of 1 to 10 of importance, 1 being not important, 10 being like critical. How important is it for a wholesaler to accurately depict a rehab allocation?
Probably a 9 to 10. In my book, probably a 9 to 10 in my book.
And why is that?
I mean, you got to walk in every house like you're going to buy it yourself, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I can't see anybody walk into a house and, it's like, hey, you're going to lose credibility, right? It's business.
Right.
Your name is your name,
Right.
Your company is your company, right? So you guys have to look at it like that. So at the end of the day, if you're walking into the house and you don't know your rehab, it's like, yeah, it's $10K paying carpet, and you walk in there, and I'm somebody like myself or you walk in there and stand in the doorway and see it's $35 just standing in the doorway.
Right.
You lose all credibility, right? And then you're going to stop to take, like, that person continue to call you. You going to answer the phone?
What happens when a new wholesaler loses credibility with a seasoned buyer?
They lose credibility?
When that happens, what happens?
I wouldn't answer the phone.
That's a tough
Pretty
one.
much. So I want to drop this out there. There was, when I first started wholesaling, there were investors who would not talk to me for 5 or 6 years because that one deal where I told him the rehab was 15 when it was 45. It year after year, I would call him, he wouldn't answer until I saw him at an investment club. I'm like, dude.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, dude, because you send me bullshit. And I was like, but that was like my first 6 months. He was like, well, you told me you were seasoned in the game. And what happened was, for 5 years, he didn't want to talk to me because he was like, your numbers are BS. And that brings me to my next question.
Wow.
That was prime time, fake it till you make it, right? Is that a thing that you agree with? Fake it till you make it. Because as a 6 month new to the business wholesaler, I walked in there like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. He's like, how long you been in the game?
You did.
Listen, I'm here. That's all you need to know. You know what I mean? And then what happened was, but because I told him, I faked it till I made it. Like, listen, it don't matter how long I've been in the game. I know what I'm doing. And he was like, bro, you don't. You suck. And I don't want to ever do business with you. And he told me that 5 years later. Do you agree with fake it till you make it?
Not really. I mean,
in this
game,
it
this
sounds
game, no. I mean,
dangerous.
you can
Yeah.
do. I mean, if you rapping, yeah. right.
If you're
If you're a rapper,
if you're rapping, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But if you're a wholesaler, no.
Nah,
don't do
I
it.
mean,
Why not, though? Why not?
To get into the investing and wholesaling, and and into the whole flipping game, you want, again, like, it's your name,
Right.
right? And I mean, to me, like, I look at it like this, and this is something that I experienced over the years. Like, everybody, like, the core that's doing it is this big.
Right.
The real players, we're that big.
So true.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
true. And ideally, like, you have to make it a point to yourself to kind of squirm and work yourself to that circle, right?
Right.
And if you can't work yourself to that circle, then, I mean, something that you're doing wrong, you got to kind of self-reflect. I mean, and it's not that hard. It's not like you building spaceships, right?
Right.
It's brick and mortar. It's
But you are playing with people money.
you are
You
playing
are.
people
That's
money.
it.
You are playing people money, and if you don't know, then ask, right?
Right.
And the cool thing about this is a lot of people is a lot of people that's doing it. But at the end of the day, you got to connect yourself with the right people. I mean, if you can connect yourself with the right, if you don't know it, then ask.
Right.
Don't be afraid to go out there and it's like, hey man, like I don't understand rehabs. Like my biggest thing was to go out there and I started to talk to people. I started to meet contractors.
Right.
And like I pull up on a house that was being worked on. I don't know anything about the house or the person or the contractor, but I go in the house and it's like, hey man, like, and I start to walk and it's like, well, how much it costs for flooring? How much it costs for paint?
So then you learn how to qualify rehabs based off of walking into houses and then just shadowing contractors
And flipping and rehab.
And flipping, okay.
And flipping. So I got the cost based off that because I mean, ideally that's how I learned the game, just understand just based off that. And then as things started to expand for me, I started to look at it like, okay, like I can make this, I can remove a lot of risk from myself. Just because it was adjustments off the game, right? It was like, and that's the whole thing. It's a whole nother subject. Obviously, it's kind of adjusting off of the market and what's going on. It's like, okay, I can take it on. I see a lot of deals. I get a lot of deals.
Right.
Do I want to keep every deal?
Right.
So and it's kind of started to go, I don't really want this house, but it's an awesome flip for somebody else that may buy like this in a buy box. And I walked Home Depot and I started looking at rehabs, and it's like the more you start to do like the little subtle things. The big understanding values and knowing rehab is going to get you so far in this game.
So wholesalers know how to qualify rehabs, know how to accurately depict your back end value. Is it safe to say if you walk the house with a wholesaler who was wrong on their rehab, wrong on their ARV 2 or 3 times, you probably wouldn't do business with them?
I probably will. I'll probably beat them up on price every time, though. No, I would. No, I'm here for it.
So you know what? I'm glad you said that. So
I'm here for it.
So that's the thing. So wholesalers, check this out. If they do business with you, they will posture over you every time. So one way or another, you're gonna take an L.
You only get, yeah. You like see, and
You gonna get an L here, or you gonna get an L there?
legit, and that's like no legit. You're gonna take L, and that's the whole thing. Like what you don't know, what you make a mistake on, you gotta learn how to eat it, right? At the end of the day, if I walk a house and I know it's $7K, and I get a guy to walk in there and say it's $25K, you know what I'm gonna say? You get out.
Yeah.
You get out. It's like I'm good, man. Hey, man. Like, look, man. You see this kitchen? You see this bathroom is gonna cost 7 G's to fix. It's like, okay, dude. It's a $150,000 ARV house in Mesquite. It's not 25 G's to fix. So what you telling me is like you either don't know what you're doing, or you think I don't know what I'm doing, right? So
Neither one is
so somebody's off, and I know it's not me.
Either you a scammer or a trickster. Which one?
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, right. And,
Which one is it?
I mean, and at the end of the day, like you can't get mad because there's money that's involved and there's a hustle to it, right?
Right.
So to me, like I get a kick out of it. So I don't mind if you tell me that it's like 25 G's and I know inside it's 1,500. It's like, cool. How much can you give me off? It's like I can give you absolutely nothing off. Like I can nothing. Like I appreciate it, but you want to be able to break it down and kind of like people start to appreciate. You know, if I can walk out and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna cost this to fix, it's gonna cost that. Like me personally, I wouldn't do this. Like I should replace this. I will replace this. I would change this. Yes, you should change the fixtures on it. I will replace the electrical box on it. I would. At the end of the day, when you be able to kind of regurgitate that back to an investor, it's like, holy shit, this guy knows
what you're doing.
He know what he's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, you like the more you know, the less people push on you.
Right.
It's kind of like I know how to read. They're not going to teach us. Probably not going to ask me how do I pronounce that? Because like they need to work on the people that don't. So like you have to be able to, again, it starts with being able to educate yourself. Like if you don't really know the game like that, or you don't take the time, it's not a halfway hustle.
Right.
Right. It's not a halfway hustle. I have made hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a year. Not
Really?
100,000 wholesaling. Self wholesaling.
I wouldn't say that. You know,
right.
you never know
Really?
who from the IRS who's tuning in.
Yeah, but
His name Marcus Gaynor.
But then Mark,
because I had a good question.
Yeah,
I wanted
go
to
for
ask
it.
something. So because we have people that are watching that would love to be in your shoes one day, we talk about it's all about education, right? But
Right.
you know, the old saying goes, it's not what you know, but who you know. So to that person that wants to be, you know, in this level of expertise, how do they infiltrate that circle that you were talking about earlier? Where do they go to meet the people that could help them out?
do they go or do they work to get there?
That's a good question too.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah, how do you earn your seat at the table?
Networking. Network.
But where do you network in Dallas? Where do you go?
I would get the meetup at.
Okay.
That's how I would start.
Or you
there.
could log on to myRE360.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Look, we try to give you that alley-oop thing, you still throw that in there.
But no, like, you know, something like how the REI 360, that's something that, you know, it'll kind of give you a condensed version of what you need to do.
Right.
The best thing in the world to have is a mentor starting off doing it.
Right.
I mean, and I'm, again, speaking from experience, somebody that went, you know, to the school of hard knocks from actually doing it. Like, to have a mentor that's actually somebody that, you know, that can walk you through the whole process from, I'm not going to say from beginning to end, but somebody that you can call when you get nervous, right?
Right.
Because we all have, even myself, and I'm pretty sure, like, we, you know, there's situations to where, like, you may go, like, I don't really know if it's going to cost that much. I don't really know if it's worth
Absolutely. Every mentor needs a mentor.
You need a mentor,
Yeah,
right? And it's
absolutely.
also about creating, like, you got
Here,
it.
here,
You got
Adonis.
it. You got it.
Unless you Adonis, you don't need a mentor.
Listen, you said it, not me. So
But no, like you definitely need to be able to have somebody or a group that you should be able to lean on.
So you know what? You know why I say that? Like, not so much a mentor, because you know what I do? I call the guys that I've been working with for 7 or 8 years, right? So if I don't know about this AC, I don't call my mentor. I call my AC guy. And this is why it's so important about those circles. My circle, my electrician I've been working with since 2013. My HVAC tech referred me to my electrician 2013, right? My foundation guys, you know, we've cycled through those guys. But my core team, when I have questions, I call them.
Okay.
So if my electrician charges me $5,000 and these other electricians will come in and charge me $4,000, I will pay my electrician $5,000, because outside of that particular job, when I need advice, when I need real guidance that is not to his benefit but to mine, I get it. So that's it. The circle is well beyond just the person you're buying from or selling to.
Right.
Your circle also needs to be, if it's not your mentor, your tradesmen are going to be just as important teaching you the game as a mentor, as someone you're following, as someone you're doing business with, buying from or selling to, because I've learned how to navigate rehabs by asking the guys that to this day I've been doing business with 5 or 6, 7 years. Whether they're more expensive, less expensive, I stick with them because they've taught me so much of the game. So would you agree that even as much as a mentor, you're a tradesman that you're loyal to, that is committed to. You committed to them, they'll commit to you. Is that a fair statement?
100%. Like, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I think you just touched on is like, ask questions.
Right.
Right. Like I hope, I pray that I never get that big to like I can't ask questions.
Right.
Right. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, like you got to be able to ask questions and like.
If you make that your business, you won't. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah.
What, to ask a question?
No, to not ever get that big to where you can't be asked.
Now I want to get that big.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
if you make
no,
that
like
your
you're gonna
business,
totally
you
be
won't,
lost
you know?
in life, dude. Like
Yeah.
no, like I want to be able to like always be able to ask, and it's like
Absolutely.
you don't. I think if you're the smartest guy in the room, then like you're in the
You're
wrong damn room. You're in the wrong damn
Right,
room, right? Right?
absolutely.
Right.
Oh,
So it's
then
like
I need to leave.
Well
So I
done.
couldn't pass that one.
But
up.
no, but it's like, no, like seriously, like real estate is so relational.
Right.
It's so relational, and like your business could be like I don't care about having like a huge buyers list. Like I don't care about that. If I had people like him, you know, and I have, you know, and I have like good funding partners, the people I can go to, is like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this for myself. You know, like the relationships is everything, and it's like people always say
Absolutely.
like people always say like your net worth and your network is
We
your
said
net
that
worth.
last
Your
week.
net worth is
Your
your
net-
network
right,
is
right.
your net worth. Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Right, and it's like, I mean, yeah, and it's so old, it's so old school, like when people say it, but it's like so true.
It's
It's
true.
so true.
It's
It's so true, and they make your business easy. It's like, hey man, like I have literally sold deals to people to where I went, I need you to buy this, bro. Like literally, like, hey, he's like, man, it's like the worst deal in the world for me. It's like, I don't know, like, hey, look, I need you to buy this. Like, I seriously need you to buy this. Like, I'm outside of my ops. Like, I went a day over. Bro,
Right.
I really need you to buy it.
Right.
Until you can work yourself like that to the point where you can tell, and they go, damn it, bro. Okay, I got you.
Right.
Until you
But
can,
you owe me on the next
You
one.
owe me on the next
You owe
one.
me on the
'Cause
next
you
one.
always
But
gonna hit
it's all about people helping people.
it's all
right?
about
So-
people pulling people, because I mean it's legit. At the end of the day, they may not like, you may not work every deal together, but you guys
Right.
work together, and it's like, okay, like I'm not gonna get mad if things go sideways and things happen. It's kind of like how you handle it's like how you handle yourself on the deals. Like, okay, like the numbers don't work, or this don't work, or this don't work out. It's kind of like, okay, I can call you and say, hey dude, I got this deal, this is what it is, I slipped up on this, I overvalue this, or I undershotted the rehab, and then you being transparent. I mean, you're gonna, like, people gonna continually do business with you.
Right.
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 I love that. So since we're talking about people helping people,
Right.
for those that are watching, in the comment section right now, network, drop what it is you're doing, whether you're a wholesaler, tell us what you need. If you're willing to mentor, I would love for you to say hashtag I'm willing to mentor. And if you need a mentor, hashtag
Call me.
I need a mentor.
Call me. Call me.
Here we go.
So how do they get in touch with you,
Let
man?
us
Like
know,
they
let us
call
know.
you, how do they get in touch with you?
I can't get my number over
Oh,
YouTube.
now
I
you-
mean, well,
say- you
I would
said
say
it
give your
loud.
social media, but you don't have
Yeah,
much of a.
I mean, I don't have. Yeah, I don't. But I
But
mean,
they can hit us.
we still hit me DM.
Do you know your password to your, to your social media?
Hey,
How do
I
people
don't-
tune
I
into you
don't.
on social media?
I don't. So it's Marcus_Gaynor at. That's actually my IG. So I'm very, you know.
But he was about to say at Instagram.
I don't know. Right. So I don't have a big file. Like I'm not like the biggest social media person.
Not yet.
And that's
Not
okay.
yet.
Let's
you
get our
know,
hands
like-
on
Hey, but
you.
no,
No,
but,
I
but
mean-
seriously, that's okay. That's not everybody ministry to have a big following. If
I would
you
love
could
to, you
just
know,
have a platform
man, I
to
would
help
love to
people-
have like a platform and have like
Yeah.
my shirt off on the boat and just like me just like popping bottles and doing like a rap video. And it's like, I buy houses, I buy houses. I would totally love to do that, but I don't have a Facebook. Just because of the fact, like, I've always been like so like old school with it. Like I'm going out in the streets and I'm gonna like beat the streets and I'm gonna hustle
Right,
it.
and I'm a handwrite all my notes.
I
I'ma
did
write
at one
letters.
point, like I did. So I start off, but you know, like social media is pretty legit. Like
So-
I'm not gonna lie, like when I look at everybody on social media, like y'all's, like Ryan's, like when I see that, and it's kind of like that's pretty damn cool. Like no bullshit. Like
Trust me,
Yeah.
it's tough.
It's tough. No, like social media, like at least today time, like social media was at, and I think that's something that can grow. But no, like if like people want to learn, like I do it. Like it's not like I'm not gonna say like I'm a guru, but I'm a guru.
Right. So to the people outside of the phone book, how can the people contact you? Let's get them.
Well, you know what? Let's put them on the spot. So, Marcus,
Okay.
you said that you're willing to teach people. Would you be willing to become an educator on 360 on how to properly wholesale? Would you be willing to teach people the game on 360?
$100,000
$100,000
okay.
a month up front? No. Yeah. But no, for
What?
sure.
I'm sorry. Next question.
100 grand up front. Nah. But no, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing is being able to show people. So
Well,
yeah. So
no,
so is that an
yes.
So you heard it. So
Yes,
360 users. Guess who's just got a new wholesaling? So you know what? While we're going to celebrate him coming on our newest educator, the question I have for you then is that you've been in the game 14 years. You're still wholesaling. A lot of people use wholesaling as a way to get into the business. I feel like you've sustained the business as a wholesaler. Why not transition to something else?
I am actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
like this is
Speak
kinda
on
my-
it.
No, I mean this is actually my thing. Like so, you know, I had kind of shifted, and you know, I made a pivot. You know, I think wholesaling is kind of it's a great thing to do. I mean, obviously you can earn a good amount of money. I think at the end of the day, I think it's a young man sport. This is a conversation that I was having for a long, like I just had today actually. It's a young man sport. You know, I have bought a lot of houses. I think probably if you go into certain areas of Dallas, I have bought and sold houses on literally every other street.
Right.
That's crazy. And
You ever
I held
drive
on.
through a neighborhood and be like, I should have held on to
I held on. No, yeah, all of Fair Park.
Right, fair.
Oh, wow.
Why all of Fair Park?
Wow.
Why?
I can name 10 houses that I have literally owned in Fair Park that I have bought, like, and no kidding, that was probably from 7 to 13,000.
Oh,
That's
That
not
is worth what now?
about 100,
Oh,
about at least
man.
100, at least 100, right? But
that-
that's okay though.
Yeah, that's one of them to
okay,
keep
though.
you up at night.
No, not really.
Oh, will it though?
No,
Because you
'cause
got-
I can get it back, right? I can get it back, so it don't keep
not
up
for
in-
7,000, but
But go ahead.
But not for seven, but it's the same. It's the
but you
same
know what
spread.
though? At the time when you wholesaled in and made that 5 or 7, that was more valuable at the time for what you needed it to do. Is that a fair statement?
At times, yeah. At times, I should have kept it. I mean, at times, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta please. I would say anybody that's wholesaling, like honestly, at this point, right? Well, starting off, just make it a vehicle, right? So I mean, that's the whole thing to me. Like I use it as a vehicle,
Okay.
because it's cool now to be able to go. I'll buy it.
Right.
That's power. It's like
Yeah.
I buy it. It's like, you know what? I'll buy it.
Because
Right.
it sounds like from the checks you were clearing, hey.
I'll buy it.
So
No, I mean, yeah.
He made
He
40
said-
racks
I
off
mean, I
it.
made 40 grand off it. Yeah, so it's like, no, I'll buy it.
1,000. He said
no,
what he
A
said.
year.
Yeah, he said what he said.
No. But I mean, you gotta. But it's kind of posturing yourself and positioning yourself,
Right.
and not trying to make the quick buck. It sounds again another cliches, so like the long dollar. But at the end of the day, I mean, my goals has kind of shifted to like that fast. Like, yeah, you can make that money really fast, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to like build that wealth. And it's like you gotta recognize and understand like what your talent is, right? And I know like
Ooh,
That's
That's
our
major
phrase of the
right now.
night, right? That's our
Yeah.
phrase of the night. Like,
recognize your talent.
understand and recognize your
yeah,
talent.
Recognize
you
your
recognize
talent.
your talent. It's like, and that's the biggest thing. Like, it sits inside of me fine, just knowing that's like, okay. Like this year, I'm gonna buy 50 doors and I'm gonna keep them.
Okay.
Come on.
All
Right. So it's like,
So you're gonna phase out of predominantly wholesaling and then actually get into rentals.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, me and you
Buying
talked about it.
whole
Me
program.
and you
talked about it.
Me
And-
had a call, and it's kind of like, you know, like I know the deal flow it won't change as long as your network. The biggest thing to me is like continue to network, right?
Right.
Like which you do, you badass
Regularly,
at it, right?
right.
He badass at it. So it's like continue to network.
You shouldn't have said that, but go ahead.
No, he is. No.
Let me live, bro. Let me live.
No. Give the man his flowers. Give the man his flowers.
Right, let me live.
No. Give the man his flowers. So it's like continue. And that's one thing that I know for a fact. There's things that I kind of take for granted. It's like you can have it's like you can have the talent, but you still gotta have the hustle.
Right.
Right.
Right. You see.
I posted that today. Hustle, do you have it? You gotta have the hustle.
You gotta have the hustle. You gotta have the talent.
And you know one thing I'm gonna do a shameless plug. So you said you're gonna buy and hold 50 doors. L&H Capital, previously formerly known as Lockett-N-Homes, is offering 30-year landlord fixed rate PITI loans at 3.85%.
Can't beat it.
So if you're interested as an investor to buying rental properties, and you and I even talked about this, you can get into a 30-year fixed interest rate landlord loan, no tax returns, no W-2s, no pay stubs, no DTI requirements, have a 30-year fixed interest rate loan at 3.85%
Ooh, come on.
with L&H Capital.
Hold on. We're going to do something different today.
Look at God.
Because, with the platform I'm building, I'm all about education and helping the people, right?
Sure.
I want to make sure that they get it. I need you to run that back for me. Because that's major.
So,
that's major in this industry.
Marcus said that he's going to buy 50 doors.
50 doors.
And the way he's going to buy 50 doors is by logging on to www.lnhlarrynancyhenrycapital.com.
Sure.
And he's going to inquire about the 30-year landlord investor loan, fixed interest rate, 3.85%, with no tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, or DTI requirements. And Marcus is going to buy 50 doors without it showing up on his credit with an interest rate of 3.85% at lnhcapital.com. www.lnhcapital.com.
And where can people do that? Seriously, I will wait. Somebody that can find a better deal than that, please contact me because I would love to know.
No,
You cannot beat
that's
this.
how, if you
You
get
cannot.
really deep in the game at the end of the day, if you get really deep into the game and if you guys really, if you buying it, you got to think about it. Like the deal like you walked today.
Right.
I got it at 50 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
Oh, so by the way, I didn't even tell y'all. So him and I walked the house today that I actually sent to the wholesale department. He got a clean deal. 120, he's flipping it to us. 125K, 125 purchase, 50K rehab, 225 ARV. Solid.
Very,
Solid. Yeah.
very
So,
much so.
so whether we as an agency buy it or not, we will either turn it to the investors that we work with.
Right.
And again, and here's the one thing I think is the most important. We operate with full transparency. He has no problem telling me, here's what I got it for, here's what I'm making, here's what I'm selling it for. We tell our investors, here's what we got it for, here's what we're making, here's what we're selling it for. Because when you're transparent, whenever someone feels like they're being smoke and mirrored, it puts everyone on their heels. It puts them on edge. When everyone is aware of what's happening, I think it's safe to say that most people expect us to make $1 on us doing business. We know wholesalers need to make a few dollars. The investors want to make a few dollars. So by everyone being transparent, you don't feel like you're getting had. So, the funny thing about when Marcus calls me, the first thing he says is, here's what I got it for, here's what I'm making, here's what I can sell it to you for. Are you interested? Every deal that he sends me, I don't even bother negotiating because there's still enough meat on the bone for us.
Oh, you real.
He
real.
He a real. You know what I mean?
I feel impressed. I feel like a steak dinner. I was like,
Right. So I got to tell you, if you're a wholesaler in the business, the best thing that you can do is don't fake it till you make it. Be transparent because people will appreciate whether Marcus makes $25,000, $100,000, or $2,500. If it's a good deal for me, it's a good deal for me.
As long as it makes sense.
So as long as it makes sense for me, it doesn't matter what he's making. It doesn't matter what his whole team is making. If it's a good deal, it's a good deal.
Hold on, because we got to talk about that. Please, people, for wholesalers, don't be mad or be shy at helping someone else eat. Just as you would like to make money, so does the next person. So as Adonis said, as long as the deal makes sense, it's okay for somebody else to profit off of a transaction that they're giving to you.
Right.
It's okay because you're gonna make money too.
yeah.
And even when Marcus tells me he makes 10, he makes 25, he makes 50, I don't be like, well, shit, you should make less. Nah, if it's a good deal, it's a good deal. And that's the advice I don't want to give to investors. Stop being hypocrites, right? Stop being hypocrites.
Speak on it.
You want to get everything for dirt cheap. You want to get everything at bare bottom dollar, but you want the top quality and you want to sell for top market. Don't be a hypocrite. Pay the people what they're worth. Your wholesaler, your subcontractors, your general contractors, your title companies, and your hard money lenders.
Oh, they're not gonna like that.
somebody like myself. No, somebody like me, I just keep it myself.
Right. So the thing is, the great thing about real estate, there's more than enough money and more than enough deals to go around for everybody. So,
For sure.
if by making sure your wholesaler eats, there are going to be some deals where when Marcus calls me and I'm like, yo, I need you to take a reduction on this so I can win, and on the next one, win big on me. Yeah.
I get you a steak.
So with that said, I know that, man, Marcus, we could spend the next 2 or 3 hours talking about how much of a rock star in the wholesale game you are, but unfortunately, we're coming down the stretch. Fortunately, we are now entering this segment of sometimes you just need to know like what's going on. So with that said, You ever been perusing the internet? You as an investor are walking the house and you see something and you can't help but ask yourself what's happening right now? So we've created a segment just for that. And in this week's Whose Mans Is This? Sometimes you just need to know what's exactly going on. So let's tune into our first segment of Whose Mans Is This?
Is this a joke? What is going on here?
This is when your neighbor is Batman.
Yep, exactly. That's what
So
Wow.
What's happening here?
Tony Hawk. They said, hey, my kids, they like to skateboard, but we still need a garage. What can you do?
Wait, bring that back up.
that says I need to fire that contractor.
What?
So when this is what happens when your architect is also a mathematician or a physicist. Listen, well, you said 45 degrees. That's technically the legal requirement for a driveway. It's like, bro,
Listen, that was a hardcore 45-degree angle. That is crazy.
Well, I don't know. For me, this feels like
That's good right there.
That's an incline.
No, this is for the X Games 4x4-wheeler that, pops the curb.
I'm gonna blame the city for approving
Right,
that.
exactly. You know what? The city probably didn't approve that because that driveway is clearly an X Games.
There's no way
mode.
I can walk by. There's no way I can drive by as code and compliance.
The
and approve that
driveway
right
in
now.
X Games mode.
Yeah, this is not a house that exists in anywhere with sub-freezing temperatures because the moment you hit that driveway, you sliding right into
Listen,
the road.
They won't have no flood issues.
I pray this house was not in Dallas
So-
last week.
To the pedestrian that's walking by that gets hit by the car that slides out of the 45 angle driveway, to the city official that says, you know what, you've made the bare minimum requirement of 44.999 degrees bar. All I need to know is, whose mans is this? All right, moving on. So, Darion, what's happening here?
So full transparency, right? I have a client, new investor. Shout out to them. They are closing on their house very soon, their first investment property. So we went in for the first time. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I didn't catch it. I didn't see it. We do the second walkthrough with the GC, and then we're talking about how we want to change the kitchen, and then we see that.
So what are we looking at though?
We are looking at an oven that comes with a jump range hood. Jump range hood, why did I say that? Because to turn on the vent, you gotta jump.
So here's what happened. Code compliance walked through like, sir, we cannot approve this without a vendor hood. Homeowner, cool. I got you. Code compliance walks through like, touche, homeowner. So, but you can't really turn the vendor hood on from this, right?
You gotta jump.
How do you turn
It worked. It worked.
It's not a light switch. They want them to switch it. They
Yeah,
just-
sure.
Well, I mean,
You gotta jump to get it.
that's old school. You got to jump and flip the
Yeah.
little switch on there.
They said if you making a meal, you gonna exercise, baby.
To the code compliance officer that got vested by the creative investor, to the kids in the bedroom who going to smell the sizzling sound of bacon because that vendor hood is
It's
just
too
too
high.
far away to dissipate that smell. All I need to know is, whose mans is this? All right. It never gets old, dude.
Right.
All right. And what?
Versace.
This is crazy that this is real.
And so this is what
Wow.
happens. This is what happens when your assistant is also a fashion designer.
Do
Like,
you think that bathroom smell
Like flowers.
like shit?
I feel like the toilet is also made of the same material as the floor, walls, and even the toilet paper. Even the toilet paper isn't even toilet paper. It's cloth. So you gotta wipe your ass and
first
then
of all,
wash it off.
That's you know, never mind.
yeah.
Nah, this
Yeah, my mind got so many directions with that one too.
Yeah, you know.
You can take a dump and take a picture at the same time.
So no. This is to the teenage girl who
fashionable
just
bathroom.
cannot live a moment without IGing or FaceTiming or what do these kids do nowadays? Live streaming,
TikTok.
And listen, you know what I'm saying? So to the teenage girl that needs to highlight every aspect of her life, including the time on the toilet, to the intern that overcompensates by their interior decorating skills by fabricating the toilets, tissue, and bathroom holders. All I need to know is, whose man's is this? So, with that said, I gotta tell you, Marcus, like the nuggets you've been dropping today is super clutch, and I want to make sure that we don't downplay the fact that you volunteered yourself to educate the 360 massive on the intricacies of wholesaling. So I want to introduce our next educator on My 360, Mr. Marcus Gaynor, who's going to teach everyone the game of wholesaling.
Hey, let me help you out. You know that was his way of saying I got you.
You
right?
got you, yeah.
So just let me know you want to record, and I'll set it up for you.
I got you.
So let me ask you then. So if there are serious buyers, especially in the Dallas market, that want to get on your list, and I can tell you right now, firsthand, this guy has rock star projects. Every project he sends me, I put serious stock into, because every one of his deals is actually worth the time and energy because they're good deals. How do people get in touch with you?
I mean, the best thing is to text me, honestly. Like, I'm more old school.
But you said you're not gonna give your number.
I mean, I give it out. I mean,
Okay.
don't do it. Okay, don't do it.
Give him a social media.
Give the people an email.
Yeah, give me, so it's going to be Marcus Gaynor 8, Marcus Gaynor 8 at Gmail. And also, too, you can reach me on my Instagram at Marcus_/Gaynor on Instagram.
Hold on, let me help the people out. You said Marcus Gaynor 8 as in the number 8?
The number 8.
Or the word 8.
No, the number 8.
See?
Number 8.
I'm sorry about that.
You gotta be clear.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm very, very old school. If you guys on social media,
And it shows.
He uses underscores.
And it
like,
shows.
no,
Marcus at sbglobal.net.
at AOL.com.
Hit me up on AOL Messenger. My black plant page.
Hey, y'all finished?
Okay.
But definitely social media is definitely lagging.
Right.
No, definitely, but definitely reach out to me if you guys want to. Definitely, Instagram would definitely be a good way to reach out to me. It is Marcus_Gaynor. Definitely look me up on that right there.
What's your MySpace?
No MySpace. That was good, dude. That was good.
Marcus_Gaynor 8.
But no, definitely reach out to me if you guys are looking for deals. What I'm gonna start doing, honestly, I'm gonna start like posting a lot of deals like what I have sold him on Instagram, and a lot of deals I've sold overall. The past 6, I would say probably the past 6 to 8 months been really crazy with the amount of volume and properties I've been doing.
Right.
I'm not a big fan. I just want solid people. So if you're somebody that's like on the fence on every single deal, I need you to be more or less like people like him that can look at a deal and can understand like, okay, this makes sense to work for me.
Right.
If you're somebody that take 2 or 3 days to look at a deal and analyze it, I'm not gonna wait for you.
Right.
Like,
And
I'm not gonna. I can care less.
So again, let me help the people. So if you contact the Marcus, he's saying you got to be ready, right? But if you're saying, hey, I want to get in the game, but I need some training, come here. I got you. Go to invest_with_DC. I'm going to help you out. I am going to help you get started. We're going to train you up
Hilarious.
so that you are comfortable to go to the big leagues with Marcus. That's what I'm here for. I got you.
Right. And I got to stress, when you go to guys like Marcus, know your stuff. Don't fake it till you make it. Be authentic. If you're new to the business, and just
It really shows. It really shows. You're going to tell on yourself.
Well, no, you know what? Because the thing is, and one thing we didn't cover,
That's funny.
when you're new to the business and you try to fake it till you make it, and how long will it take you to figure out that someone does not know what they're talking about?
About between 2 and 5 minutes.
2
I'm
and
about to
5
say, I was going to get seconds.
I was
honestly.
gonna
No, it do. Yeah. It
5
do.
minutes, you know that the person does not know what they're talking about, whether they're on the selling or the buying side, right?
Yeah.
Once that happens, he talks circles around you, right? So
That's very cool.
be okay being new. Be okay in just starting. And I'll tell you, when you're transparent about, hey, listen, this is my first, second, third deal, a lot of times guys like Marcus will help you through the deal to make sure he gets a good deal and you get a good deal. What makes people really kind of like get you is when you front like you know what you're doing and you don't.
And you don't.
That's what makes people really kind of boss up on you, because then you're positioning yourself to play a big boy's game or a big person's game, and then you get beat every time. Is that a fair statement?
Man, it's awesome. That's perfect. That's perfect because it really don't take but less than a couple. I would say a couple of seconds, like you were saying, before you realize like they don't have a clue.
Right.
So just be transparent. If you're transparent, it's like, hey, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Tell me what I need to do. That's perfect. Because now me and you could jump in. It's not about, I always look at any deal I'm gonna look at as, I'm looking at it as a relationship that I can grow and blossom, right? Every single deal, every single transaction. So I'm gonna treat it as such and I'm gonna nurture it. I'm not asking for anything up front, but I'm giving you time, right? So I mean, time is money. I can't get that back. You get money back. Time is money. So I'm gonna pay attention to you, and I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna walk you through it.
Right.
So what he's saying is capping games will get you capping prizes. So be real. Be real. Come to me first.
I like that.
And we'll prep you for the big games.
Right.
Capping games will get you capping prizes.
No, just bring it. No, just bring what you have.
And you know, there's nothing wrong with like putting in the hours to get there, right?
Right.
Because Marcus, myself, everyone started somewhere, right? And the good thing about the seasoned people in the business is that a lot of people in the business now know that their reputation is the only thing that keeps them afloat. So those guys typically won't do bad business because this industry is small. In your local market and nationwide, you are literally 2 phone calls away from someone pulling your entire resume. Whether you're doing it in another city or another state, 2 phone calls and someone can pull your resume. And so for the guys that have been in the business 15 years, like Marcus, the way they stay in the business is by doing good business. Because guys like me, guys like you, guys that have met Marcus, women that have met Marcus will say, there's a guy you want to do business with. When you do bad business, intentionally or even inadvertently, people only know you for that. And your real estate investing career will fizzle out just as quickly as it starts. So the guys in the business, if you don't feel reluctant to tell them that you're new, because they'll want to help you, because they know that 10 years ago, that was them. So in 5 years, when you're the big wig in the streets, you know, you're going to appreciate the fact that Marcus helped you get there. And from there, there'll be business that happens for 5, 10, 15 years. The same thing. Marcus and I met back, spoke on the phone, emailed back in 2013, still doing deals today.
I love it.
Right. So be authentic in who you are. Fake it till you make it. That is a thing of the past. Guys like Marcus can sniff it out a mile away. And
well, it's not a thing of the past. It's just don't do that in this game.
Fair enough.
Do that with your mama. Don't do that here.
So Marcus, take like if you had to give advice, just close us out with this. What advice would you give seasoned new investors, wholesalers, buyers? What is your take-home advice?
That's good. So I would say continue to learn, be a lifelong student, and continue to adjust whatever market you're in. If you don't adjust, you're going to fail. Right?
Love it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is like right now, if you're in the Texas market, you realize this is probably the hottest market in the country just because of the fact you have people that's coming from east, from both coasts that's coming down here, right?
Right.
I think right now we noticing that is a tight market. It's really hard to buy deals. And I think a lot of people, including myself, have gotten a little frustrated with it, but you got to double down. What they say, like 10 toes down. I think you got
10 toes down. 10
toes down. So you got to kind of dig in and realize like competition is good. Like even Jesus Christ had competition. I mean, he had the devil, right? It's competition, right?
He went all the way there.
Yeah, I went all the way there, right? Right.
Competed with
but it's like but competition is there, and it's like and it's good, and it's like if you know the game and you solid and like you know your areas and you know your values, can't nobody touch you. Like the last thing I worry about is competition. I worry about the weather. I worry about the rehab. I worry about, I worry about the values.
Yeah, but competition ain't won.
Right.
But I'm sorry. Before we were, I can't help but ask. A lot of times, I've found my competition been my collaboration.
Oh,
that's valid.
Right.
That's valid.
Is that a thing? Right. The guys you're competing with. So I've seen that there are wholesalers that I'm competing with that are doing 10 times my volume, that at some point I may have called them and been like, I need you to help me co-wholesale this deal. Is that a thing?
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, just like I don't. I mean, competition is there to the person that feel like it's competition. I don't know if that makes sense, right?
It does.
Right, but it's just like just be better. Right. So I mean, at the end of the day,
Hashtag be better.
right.
Be
So
better.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is like, okay, like if you call me, it's like I need to get rid of this deal. Cool. Like, okay, like tell me your numbers and let's get rid of it.
Right.
Like if I don't like if it's that jacked up, I mean at the end of the day, I think the more like that you have like that connecting piece and it's kind of like, hey bro, like I need to get rid of this deal because of whatever reason. Cool, let's get rid of it. Like let's be able to work it in like whatever angle that it may be and see if we can push out and make it work. If it's like just a dead ass deal that we just like your numbers off, I don't see the value, then it's done. But if something that's like, okay, let me call my people to see if it could work. Let me find some value. It's an ask for every seat. Like how did you ever heard of that, right?
Yo, I like that quote.
I like
right?
this.
No, right,
ask for every seat.
it's an ask for every seat. So it's like it's on you, and it's on us to be able to kind of push that and to kind of
Right.
find that ass.
Got it. Listen,
Hey,
Right,
well,
right, that's-
Marcus, man, we definitely appreciate you
No problem, no
for
problem.
joining us tonight. Shout out to Jasmine White-Bynum. She said she really enjoyed the episode tonight, and good job, my RE360. So kudos to us, man.
Thank-
Kudos to you.
Can I give a
man.
shout out? Give a shout out.
Go ahead, give a shout out, man.
Brooklyn, no, I'm playing. No, I want to give a shout out to Nikki, Gabby, and CC Brandon. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, for everyone tuning in, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Thank you for tuning in to MyR360.com. And again, I've been your host, Adonis Lockett, and my trusty consigliere, Mr. Darion Cole.
What? What you say? What is that word? Whatever he said, co-host. Thank y'all for tuning in.
And then our host and soon to be MyR360 educator, Mr. Marcus Gaynor.
Brooklyn, no, I'm playing. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.